Moving on to the battle over COVID-19 vaccines, the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine could soon be off limits to Floridians. The state's top doctor says that mRNA vaccines should be, quote, not available to anyone, end quote. His stance is drawing criticism even from President Trump, who once hailed the mRNA technology as a medical miracle. Florida Surgeon General Joseph Ladapo claims that mRNA COVID-19 vaccines are unsafe and should be banned.
The goal is with the mRNA is for that not to be available to anyone because no one should be using that one.
He cites unverified reports of DNA crossover and cancer risks, claims that have been rejected by a broad range of medical experts and scientists.
The benefits far outweigh the risks for the COVID vaccines. We know pretty clearly they've saved lives, especially for those populations that are more vulnerable. It's something that you should really do to protect yourself against the severe consequences of COVID.
Ladapo's comments come after Florida announced plans to roll back all vaccine mandates, including those for school children. Governor Ron DeSantis had not publicly endorsed a ban for mRNA vaccines. This push against mRNA vaccines comes after the U.S. Health Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. pulled nearly $500 million in funding for mRNA vaccine development. President Trump himself has distanced himself from anti-vaccine rhetoric.
It's a tough stance. Look, you have vaccines that work. They just pure and simple work. They're not controversial at all. And I think those vaccines should be used. Otherwise, some people are going to catch it and they endanger other people.
And that was a statement from President Trump from the White House, as you saw, September the 5th. So all of this is happening at the same time. Alan, I'd like to start with you. What do you think that this does? Do you think this gives ammunition to Democratic candidates who are coming in and saying, look at what's happening at the state level?
First, let's be absolutely clear. The Surgeon General of Florida is a quack.
That's a hard assessment.
Absolutely. The truth is hard sometimes, Lissette, because what he is saying is not based on science, and people are going to die. And, I've read reader comments on other stories about this, people saying, well, nothing is to say that you can't get these vaccines if you want them. Well, the fact is, as you're reporting, they may not be available. And the reason why vaccines have worked so well for so long is it's our collective responsibility to each other. By vaccinating ourselves, we are protecting you. And I think we've got to get to a point where we put aside, partisan or team think, and get back to the fact that we have been blessed in this country by an incredible public health system that has not let us down. It's not perfect. Science is not always perfect, but it is the best hope we have when we are faced with pandemics like COVID.
And so many people point to the pandemic as the point of break with trust and the public health system. Mike, how do you see all of this?
Well, I'm happy to see that the President of the United States supports vaccines because it has kept hundreds of millions of people alive, not only in America, but throughout the world. I'm a little concerned where, as a Republican, there are Republicans in Tallahassee that want to take my right away whether I want to have a vaccine or not. And I think that Republicans are going down a wrong road politically. I think it'll come back to haunt some Republicans if they support this. People should have a right to decide whether they want a COVID vaccine or not. Donald Trump, in fact, in his first 4 years, did something spectacular. He, through his administration, was able to find a formula, the COVID formula vaccine, that saved tens, if not millions, of people's lives. And now we have a Republican, the Surgeon General in Tallahassee, that wants to stop what Donald Trump did 4 years ago.
Tara?
Well, it's really hard to reconcile our Surgeon General's comments when he came out and had made national news as being a champion of civil liberties. I mean, I showed it in class. I mean, he was, as a man and as a government, he was going to protect your right to choose to have a vaccine or not. And so it's hard to reconcile where that went and that enthusiasm for individual liberties as it relates to having access to the COVID vaccine in vulnerable populations. Our elderly, our children are immunocompromised, and everyone else in between is at risk. But there is another cost to this. It's the economic cost. And the truth of the matter is that when the Surgeon General of Florida signals that he does not support a vaccine, insurers will no longer cover those vaccines. Those vaccines will become more difficult to procure, and those that are the most vulnerable economically will not be able to achieve them. There's other economic costs. What about when we export our workforce? There's other states and other countries that require a vaccine. What is that going to do to our young people, to those that are in professional capacities that cannot go and do the global economy that we always talk about because they're not vaccinated? Much less in the academic world. When we have our wonderful St. Pete College students graduate, they go off to graduate school, they're going to another place. We're so proud of our Florida homegrown scholars. They can't get into graduate school without a vaccine record. So what is this going to mean to the economy of Florida when the rest of the world says this is not what we think of when we talk about public health, and you're putting not only your own citizens but everyone else at risk?
You have two pharmacies now, Walgreens and CVS, who say they're not going to offer the vaccine in Florida any longer. This is dangerous. This is dangerous to the health and welfare of our state and its citizens. To all of a sudden you have the Surgeon General saying we should not be offering any longer. People will die. There's no question people will die if that vaccine is not available to them. And allow them to decide whether they want the vaccine, not government.